If you're a high achieving woman who's working harder than ever, but your revenue isn't growing and your business feels stuck, you've maybe lost some clarity and some creativity, and you're constantly reactive instead of proactive. If you're wondering how you could possibly scale when you've already don't have enough time, this episode is for you. Because here's what I see happening. You think the problem is your strategy. You think you're not doing something right, or quite often, you're not doing enough. You're looking for the next marketing tactic, a better funnel, a perfect content strategy. But what if I told you that that's not actually the bottleneck? What if the thing holding your business back has nothing to do with your strategy and everything to do with your body's capacity to execute? Today, we're going to talk about the hidden constraint in your business that no one is addressing. And I'm going to show you exactly why 2026 can't look different unless you get honest about what the 2025 year actually took from you. So let's get started. Let me paint you a picture and tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up, you already feel behind. You're reactive from the moment you open your eyes, problems are coming at you, and you're putting out fires all day long. You skip breakfast, there's no time, maybe you work through lunch, or you eat something quickly standing at the counter while you answer emails. You're checking all the boxes, you're doing some Instagram content, some client deliverables, you're sending emails, seeking out leads, but nothing ever feels like it's enough or that it's gaining enough traction for you to feel safe. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do in your business, but it's not growing the way that you really want it to. And here's the really frustrating part is even when you do work really hard, even when you do put in those hours, even when you execute the strategy, you still feel depleted. You still feel like you're missing something. And your secret fear is that there's something wrong with you, that you just don't have what it takes, that you're going to fail, or even worse, that your business will just keep going like this forever. Exhausting, joyless, and never quite enough. You're overgiving, over-delivering, overdoing, and not receiving enough from your business to feel fulfilled. Here's what happens when you're running your business from a depleted body. You lose your creativity. The strategic thinking that your business needs, it's not there. You can't see the bigger picture when you're just trying to survive the day-to-day. And you stop doing the things that actually grow your business. Marketing feels impossible. Lead generation gets pushed to later, and visibility, I don't know if you've tried to show up on Instagram when you're exhausted, but it pretty much doesn't happen. So instead, what you do is you use your energy on what's right in front of you. Your current clients, you make sure they're taken care of, you deliver, you probably over deliver to them, and you just put out the fires right in front of you all day long. And here's the problem with that is that you're not working on the future of your business. You're not nurturing new clients. You're not creating the pipeline you need because subconsciously, your body knows I don't actually have more to give. You stop creating opportunities that would require more capacity. And very classically, we call it self-sabotage, but really it's self-preservation because your body is protecting you from creating more work when it knows you can't sustain what you already have. And then months down the road, the pipeline dries up, new business slows down, you panic, you scramble, you work even harder, you get even more depleted, and the cycle just keeps going. And this is what happens when your business strategy outpaces your body's capacity. So what do? You push through. You tell yourself you don't have time for the things that would actually support your body and your body's ability to create sustainable, reliable energy. So you skip meals, you skip your breakfast, lunch gets later and later until you're starving and your blood sugar is all over the place. You might work into the evenings when you should be winding down. And maybe you're physically present with your family, but mentally you're still at work. You're still in your head, worrying, planning, problem solving, thinking about everything that you need to do the next day, the next week, the next month. And you're really missing those moments that really matter to you because you're stuck in the overthinking and the overdoing. And all of this, the skipped meals, the blood sugar crashes, the lack of downtime, the chronic stress, which will down the road create hormonal dysregulation, insulin resistance, inflammation, which are all the things that really drive that body to feel in a very low energetic state. And especially if you're in midlife, so if you're after 35, you're going to feel the effects of this even deeper. And so your body is paying a price, but so is your business. And here's what I want you to understand is that strategy will not fix this. You don't need another marketing course. You don't need a better funnel. You don't need to hustle harder or be more disciplined. You don't need another spreadsheet. The problem isn't what you're doing. The problem is that your body doesn't have the capacity to execute what you're trying to do. Think about this. You can have the best business strategy in the world, but if you don't have the energy to create content, if you can't think strategically, if you're too depleted to show up for sales calls, if you're avoiding visibility because you're running on empty, that strategy means nothing. Your body is the foundation of your business. And if the foundation is crumbling, nothing you build on top of it will be sustainable. So, what's the solution? It starts with something that I call body capacity. Body capacity is your body's ability to hold everything that you want in your business, in your life, in a way that feels good and balanced, not overgiving, not overdoing, not constantly feeling like you're not enough. It's the difference between just having energy and actually having the resilience and the regulation and the trust in your body to support what you're building. Here's what body capacity is not. It's not just drinking more water or getting more sleep, although we should all do that, and those really do matter. It's not a to-do list of wellness tasks. It's not willpower. It's not discipline. Body capacity is creating the mind-body connection where you understand the language of your body. You know what it needs. You trust its signals. You resource from yourself from the inside out. It's about regulating your nervous system so you can think clearly, make decisions, and show up with energy instead of just feeling like you're in survival mode all day. It's about stabilizing your blood sugar so you're not riding the roller coaster of crashes and cravings that derail your focus and your presence. It's about giving your body what it actually needs, not just the bare minimum, so that you can have the capacity to hold the business and the life that you're building. And here's where this gets really important, and that's something that most wellness advice will completely miss. Action is the last thing you need to focus on. I know that sounds backwards because we've all been taught that if we just do the right things, eat the right foods, follow the routine, move our bodies, check the boxes, we'll feel better. And if we feel better, then our business can grow. But that's diet culture thinking. That's the same approach that tells you just to eat less and exercise more without ever asking, what do you actually need? How do you want to feel? And you can see how this has played out in your business too, right? Strategy first, action first, do more, do better, do different. But that's not working anymore because sustainable change starts with being, not doing. Your being is your baseline state. It's your nervous system regulation. It's your relationship with your body. It's your sense of safety and feeling like you are enough. And also, instead of just feeling, knowing, like having that deep knowing that I am enough without overdoing or overgiving. When your being state is dysregulated, disconnected, in survival mode, you think, I don't have enough time. I'm not doing enough. Something is wrong with me. And from that thinking, you take actions that reinforce that depletion. You skip meals, you work late, you push through, you over-deliver, you avoid the marketing where your future business would actually thrive. And when you're operating from capacity, when your state is regulated, connected, and resourced, you think and you know, I have what I need. I can trust my body. I'm building something sustainable. And from that thinking, your actions are completely different. You eat consistently. You protect boundaries. You show up for visibility. You make strategic decisions from clarity and not panic. You can't think your way through in a new being state. You have to regulate your nervous system and resource your body first. That's why action-only approaches will fail over and over again. That's why you can know exactly what to do and still not do it. Because the being comes first. The thinking comes second. The actions come last. And when you get those first two right, the actions become easy. They're natural. They're sustainable. They're part of who you are. So, what happens if you don't address this? Well, my friend, 2026 becomes 2025 all over again. You hit the same walls, you feel depleted, you keep wondering why your business isn't growing when you're working so hard. You keep sacrificing your body for your business, and ironically, your business suffers because of it. This is exactly why I created the 2026 Body and Business Capacity Planner. It's a simple one-page reflection that helps you get honest about what 2025 actually took from you and what your body needs to support you in 2026. Because you can't change what you don't see, and awareness is the key to making the change you want for next year. When you fill out this planner, you're going to discover where your energy is actually leaking. You might have some ideas, but you haven't looked at them necessarily as energy leaks, and you don't know where the leaks are. How can you possibly fix them? And what these leaks actually cost you, not just in your body, though that deeply matters, but also in your business, like monetarily, energetically, with clients in real life, tangible form, and in the opportunities that you didn't take, and also the joy that you didn't get to feel from not being present in the moments that you really wanted to be present in. And how do you want to feel in 2026? And what 2026 is going to require from you? Not someday, now. And then from there, discovering what are the one or two anchors that will create the biggest shift, not a massive overhaul, not 47 new habits, just the support that will actually make everything else more doable. This planner is going to be your starting point, and this is where awareness becomes possibility. And if you fill it out, which you will, and you realize, okay, I see the patterns. I know what was taking from me. I know what I want to feel and I know what I need, but how do I actually become the person that is the being? I'm going to host a 3-day workshop called Rooted to Rise on January 6th. And it's specifically for women like you, high achievers, female founders who are building something meaningful, but you're running on empty. And we're going to go deeper into everything we talked about today: your nervous system, your blood sugar, building real body capacity that supports the business and the life that you're growing. This isn't just a foo-foo workshop where you consume and you forget. This is where we actually start implementing what your body needs so your business gets what it requires. So you can head to the show notes to grab the download and register for Rooted to Rise. And here's what I want you to take away from this episode. Your business strategy can't outrun your body's capacity. You can't think your way, hustle your way, or strategize your way out of depletion. The bottleneck in your business isn't marketing. It's not your offer. It's not your discipline. It's your body's ability to support what you're actually trying to build. And the good news, this is something we can very easily address. So go download the Body and Business Capacity Planner, register for Rooted to Rise, and we're going to get really honest about what 2026 is going to require for you so we can start focusing on the being. Not by doing more, but by resourcing yourself properly for what you're actually building. All right, my friends, thank you so much for listening to this episode today. I will see you next week.